think it's great to empower women and talk about it.
I want to have an honest conversation.
We have to give ourselves a break, and we have to take a breath.
Like, I'm not perfect, but there isn't much I won't try.
Some days it works,
Some days it doesn't.
CNG Media.
Women, moms are scared to share.
I think, and a lot of it has to do with the generation of posting everything on social media and Facebook of, it's great, it's wonderful. There's some days where I'm like, stop fucking crying.
Yeah.
Like, stop. Or you're overstimulated and I want to punch my husband in the face, you know? Yeah. Like, that's real.
That's so real. And no, I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Like, can you go downstairs, please? Just go downstairs.
Yeah. But your son is how old?
He's 16 months.
16 months.
So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Walking?
He's not walking yet. He's about to get there, but we had some issues with him with his, he was a preemie because of the whole preeclampsia.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Because I stalked your...
You did? Okay.
I did.
Yeah, you know the...
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
5 weeks early, right?
5 weeks early. And then later on at his 2-month checkup, they measured his head because they do all the measurements, and his head size was really large. So they actually sent us to get him scanned, MRI and stuff. They thought he had hydrocephalus. Which is when there's fluid in the brain.
Okay.
And it develops, you can tell by a head size.
Okay.
If that's... He actually didn't, because I come from a family of big Irish noggins, and he didn't have it. But it was a scare. It was scare, you know. And then my husband just recently
Did something happen during your pregnancy that just caused him to be born early?
Yeah. So in addition to it was definitely the preeclampsia that I had him early. I had him at 34 weeks.
So when did your doctor determine or figure out that you had preeclampsia?
At my 34-week checkup. They sent me right to Valley Hospital in Ridgewood. Yeah. And then they monitored me. It was like every 15 minutes. They had the blood pressure cuff, and then I had the protein in the urine, and it just wasn't going down. And then at that point, my levels were just raising. Yeah. Now, you can read all the books in the world. No one prepares you for that moment of preeclampsia, having a baby early. Not one book. There's no... You're just not ready at that point.
Oh, of course.
You know?
Well, you can't even process what preeclampsia is when you're being told, because I had the same thing with my first.
I had to Google it.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. Yeah. I didn't even know. I thought I was going home. I think I left dinner in the oven. And I was like, Brian, I have to get home. He was at the firehouse. I was like, I have to get home. They're keeping me here to monitor my blood pressure. I literally laughed it off. And then
I did the same thing.
I called my sister because my mom was in work, and I was like, Court, they're keeping me here. Listen, I may need you to go over and check to see if I left something. I thought I was going home. I had nothing ready. I had my baby shower that past weekend. Nothing was up in my son's... Nothing. Yeah. I only had the crib. I had nothing ready. Yeah. So, I just wasn't even ready for it. You know?
We went in the day after my husband's birthday, I think, or somewhere around there, because it's my husband's birthday, my birthday, and then Michael was born. But it was the same thing. It was like, okay, you have high blood pressure. But okay.
Blood pressure, I'm going to monitor you. Did you eat lunch today?
You have preeclampsia. It's like, wah. You know.
You have no idea.
Yeah, and then you
I'm like, so
when
am I going home? They're like, well, we want to monitor you. Okay.
And then 5 days later, see, he didn't come early. I was late. I was large.
Wow.
High blood pressure, and he didn't want to come out.
And the
looking
swelling,
back.
Kathy, looking back, my swelling, I looked I looked awful at my baby shower. And everybody thought I sat in water because that's how much I was sweating. Yeah. My mom's like, oh, honey, my ankles were the size. Yes. I'll never forget. My father, who doesn't say anything on Thanksgiving, he's like, whoa. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, your ankles are huge.
Yeah. I remember when my ankles came back, I was actually going to the bathroom and I happened to look down. I was like,
me too. I was like, I go, Brian, look.
I know, it's those little things.
It's crazy. Yeah. It's a lot. But I just...
So how long was he in the hospital after he was born?
He was in the hospital for about 5 days, and then he got released the day before Christmas Eve. So he's our Christmas miracle. We always call him the Christmas miracle. But I wanted to bring the NICU nurses home with me because I didn't know how to do anything. I didn't know how to change. They were telling me how to do things, and I was so... emotionally, mentally, I didn't know where I was.
Were you the first in your family to have a baby?
No, my sister has 2 kids.
Okay.
So she was like,
Yeah.
I've been around. I mean, I obviously nieces and nephews, but I had no idea. When it's your own, it's very different, in my opinion.
I think so too.
I really do, because it's just I had no emotions. It was like, I didn't know how to change a diaper. The feedings, they're like every 3 hours, set your alarm. He has to get food every 3 hours. I'm like, okay, so what if I don't wake up? Like, you're just all over the place.
You really are. And I think when you're in the hospital and they're changing the baby and they make it look so easy because they do hundreds a day.
And the preemies are so fragile.
Yeah.
Like, you're afraid to lift up their leg.
I'm sure.
And he had all the tubes in him, and I was so afraid. And I remember looking at the nurse.
So no breastfeeding?
No.
Or you did? No.
So my milk actually, didn't even come in, because that's how early it was, which at the time I didn't realize how emotional that was, but I didn't even get to, I felt like it happened so fast. Everyone was like, make sure the milk doesn't leak, it's gonna hurt. And I remember wearing 2 bras and I had ice packs, and I'm like, guys, I don't even think the milk's there.
No, it's the most excruciating pain.
But I didn't even feel it.
Ever.
They just got hard and really sore. But my mom's like, make sure you wear 2 bras. And I'm like, Mom, I don't even think the milk's there.
Yeah.
It was crazy, but I didn't know how to do anything. I felt like not one thing.
And it's intimidating.
It's so intimidating, because you feel like there's so much pressure on you.
There
of
is.
You're a mom now. You have this role. You have to do this. And then, but in the back of your head, you're like, but I wasn't prepared for it to happen this way. Your mind just can't get past the fact that you had the baby that early.
I remember.
Yes.
So my firstborn, who's going to be 20, I remember in the hospital, I gave birth, they take him. First of all, they weigh him. They're like 9 pounds, 4 ounces. I was like, say what? Okay, great.
Okay.
Yeah, and then of course, everybody wants to see him.
Right.
And there were no, I just couldn't even comprehend. I remember my best friend happened to come into the room where I just gave birth, right? So I'm here, the blankets are all on me. I feel like I can't move. So she's sitting there, there's blood on the floor. Other friends are coming in. I'm like,
what's going on?
I looked at her and I go, I have to pee and I don't know what to do. I swear to God.
I know.
I was just laying there like a human just came out of me.
I know. Did you have a C-section?
I did not. And it took him almost 3 days to come out. It was awful.
Oh, that's
awful.
awful.
It was
they
really
gave
bad.
me the option of C-section or natural. And I'm sitting there going, well, if my blood pressure's so high, I would say C-section. So now it was like we didn't know. They were trying to keep the baby in a little bit longer because I was only at 34 weeks. They wanted to inject me with the steroids for the baby's lungs. And it was at the point where I think it was midnight that night. If it shot up again, they were taking the baby out. So we decided C-section just for the safety of me and the baby, because the maternal medicine people had to come in. They're like, there's 2 patients here, you and your son. I didn't even realize that. I didn't realize that my life was on the line.
I didn't either.
I had no idea. When I tell you, Kathy, I didn't know what it was at all.
I know. It was just high blood pressure.
That's it.
And we got to get the baby out.
And I'm like, protein in urine. So what does that mean?
Right.
They're like, well, it's not good, blah, blah, blah. Not a clue.
Yeah.
Not a clue.
But they don't, I feel, the doctors, and maybe even whatever profession you're in, when you're in it and you're doing it every day, it's the norm to them.
Yeah.
But this is your first baby. This was my first baby.
Yeah.
And I was at Mountainside in Glen Ridge. Okay. The best nurses ever. I mean, God bless.
Oh, I call them
all the nurses. Yeah, I love them.
They were amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, we went to Valley in Ridgewood, and they were. I could get emotional thinking about how incredible that staff is. And the NICU nurses,
I'm sure,
they held such a special place in our heart, because at a time where we were at such a low, they really took us in as family. And to this day, we keep in touch with the people there. They're great. They're unbelievable. Yeah. Did you work? Are you a stay-at-home mom, or no? You work. I work. Yeah. I worked up until I had my son. Okay. I'm a recruiter. So I worked up until I had my son, and then I literally was in the hospital, and I had to give I was like to my boss, hey, I'm about to have a baby. I need to take my leave now. So I had to introduce everybody to my clients, whatever. So that was done.
How long was your leave?
It was 12 weeks, but I extended it.
That's
because
great.
I just wasn't ready to go back.
Yeah. See, I
And-
went back at 6 weeks.
Oh my God.
Which I know, looking back,
I give you a lot of credit.
but it's a little bit my fault because I didn't advocate for myself.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't even remember if the same family laws were in place at
I
that
know.
point because
Yeah.
it's literally 20 years ago.
I know they've changed recently. I think I read that they
Which
changed.
I think is not even in enough time for moms
1,000%.
to
I think the UK gets a year, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah.
I believe. Don't
I think
quote
6
me on
months
that.
would be great.
I think
And if you
that's
want to
what's needed.
incorporate some sort of like flexible work schedule, which I
Yeah.
think if there's anything good that came out of the pandemic was maybe a little bit of flexible work schedules for mom
Absolutely.
because it's nearly impossible
It's
to do everything that we do
Yeah.
and to feel connected to your child and feel like you're taking care of him and her
Right.
and providing nurturing and
Absolutely.
doing all that.
And the postpartum period, it was really so to bond with the baby and really get and play in the role of, you know, you're a mom, you have to do, this is your time to connect with your child, you know? And
6 weeks is definitely not enough.
And I felt like I missed out on that because when we got home with my son, I still wasn't 100%. I was still very sick. So my husband had to take the role that I was supposed to be doing, which was horrible. I mean, I wanted to do the feedings. I wanted him and
You want to connect.
I wanted to connect
and bond.
there was
yeah.
I felt like there was no connection and I felt horrible and you have such a guilt about that, but in the back of my head I was going through so many emotions and physical and just trying to get myself 100% that it was so hard to connect with him. And that I didn't really connect with him in all truth, Kathy, I think until maybe like 2-3 months later, which is horrible, but I'm being
But it's not
completely
horrible.
honest.
I
You
think
know?
we have to stop using such words
Yeah.
to judge ourselves because
Right.
your circumstances were your circumstances, right? Now
Yeah.
I mean, it's easier, honestly, for me to tell you that because I've had 3 children and my youngest is 15. So you're going to experience that as you get older.
Yeah.
As you get more confident as a mother.
Yeah.
You know, and I think if you have a good support system, whether it's friends or your sister, I think that's wonderful.
Yeah.
But you still have to experience certain things yourselves.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can ask for advice, but every child is different, right?
Every child.
You're gonna and so don't be so hard on yourself that you didn't bond with your child till he was 2 or 3 months old. Because let me tell you something, he doesn't even remember that, right? You know what I mean? So right now, when he's 16 months
Right.
old, you said, and he's like, "Mama, mama," and you
Oh,
throw the
he's
ball
like
with
on
him.
my
That's
hip.
all he remembers, and wants a
Exactly.
lollipop, and
Right.
that's it. You know, we're going to the park. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I think we set such a high standard on ourselves and we put so much pressure that it becomes, oh my God, like I look back and I'm like, my husband did so many of the feedings. He did so many of the, and this is where everyone was like, this is where you bond. And I'm like, I know, but I'm not bonding. Like I'm not.
Yeah. Wait till wait till he's a teenager. You definitely don't feel like you're
Well,
bonding.
now I'm like, every time I leave the room,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was definitely a difficult time.
So you said you were experiencing a little bit of postpartum. How long did that last? Did you see a therapist or
Yeah.
did you kind of go through it yourself?
Yeah. So I went through it myself. I didn't even know I had it. I was experiencing almost panic attacks. So, and I would get the intrusive thoughts of something's going to happen to me. I'm going to fall. I'm going to be holding the baby and I'm going to drop him. I'm going to get into a car accident. It was always in the car. I would get dizzy. It was like, I have the baby in the car. I'm going to get in a car accident. And my husband is a fireman, so he works 24-hour shifts. So there were multiple times where I would call him at work and say, you need to come home. I don't feel good.
Yeah.
I feel dizzy. I don't feel good. He would leave work and come home. This was like, I did this about 2 or 3 times. The 4th time he came home, and my husband is very, very calm, cool, and collected when it comes to this stuff. He's actually an EMT, so he knows a lot of,
Okay. Yeah.
you know.
Firsthand.
firsthand.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, put the blood pressure cuff away. He came home and he's like, I want to talk to you. He goes, I think you need to go see someone because this is not, it's now becoming a problem. I mean, you're calling me from work. I mean, I was calling him every time. It was just
Did
the
you
thoughts.
take offense to that?
No, at that point I surrendered. I knew I needed help. I knew I needed to go talk to somebody, and I knew I needed it for me and the baby and the family, because I just couldn't keep doing what I was doing. It wasn't healthy. So he got me in touch with a therapist who specialized in postpartum, and it's been extremely beneficial.
You still see her?
Yeah,
Him or her?
Very beneficial. Again, she's she's been doing this. This is what she does. But I didn't realize, like, I just needed another outlet of somebody who I was able to go to and talk to about
freely and in a safe
yeah, and
space.
someone who didn't know me, didn't know my background. It was very beneficial. You know, and just getting involved in mom groups and support groups. You know, I'm involved in a lot of, preeclampsia survivor.
See, I think that's great for you, but that's probably maybe a little bit because of social media too, right?
Absolutely.
See, I think Facebook just came out when me and my friends were having our babies. So there was
You're right.
It was just us.
Like,
hey, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing, you know? But, I mean, after my first one, I diagnosed myself as the baby blues.
Oh,
I don't know. Maybe
I would like cry. I mean, your emotions.
I was just very overwhelmed.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I remember not being I got up, I fed him, and then I just sat on the couch.
Yeah.
And I brushed my teeth, and take a shower. And then, then my husband went back to work and went back on the couch.
I know. And it was awful when my husband would leave for work.
Please sleep for another hour. Please, please. Because I was so
It feels like the longest days.
Yes.
And I remember looking at the clock and it being 10 a.m. and I'm like, I have a full day. What am I going to do? And I was so afraid to do anything because I was so afraid something was going to happen to me because of what I experienced.
And we didn't talk about postpartum or baby blues during that time.
I know. Everyone says that to me. Like, no one talks about it.
So I think that's so great for you. Like,
I have like...
that you had an outlet. You had a... husband that was attentive and aware,
Oh, yeah.
And you didn't feel shame.
No, I didn't. I because at that point, at first I was like, yeah. And then at that point, I'm like, surrender. I got to do something about this. I don't want to live like this anymore. So it was a healthy outlet for me, though. And then I started getting back to things that I used to do before pregnancy, again, social aspect of it. I don't go out as much as I would like to do, obviously, because of the baby. But my husband and I try to do dinner once in a while. But even leaving the baby, I would have...
Me too.
I would be like... To this day, I'm like to my mom, did you bring him up? Were you okay going up the stairs? She's like, enjoy your dinner. Enough.
But it's hard. It's
so
hard. Yeah. That kind of goes away when you have more children because you're just forced to... You just got to let go.
Yeah, well, then it's like and Brian, my husband, will be like, "Put the phone down. He's fine. Yeah, he's fine."
Well, guys are different, and dads are different.
Totally.
I think it's just us moms.
I know. I think that's just what. Yeah.
And then it depends on the type of personality that you have, and then it's But
now
it's
I'm
all
like, give him the
all
cheese.
good.
It's in the fridge. Like you just.
Are you looking to have more?
Down the line, I think, we're talking about it. Not right this second. I can't even think about it, but you never know. You never know what, I think because of my situation, I do have a lot of risks involved because of the preeclampsia and, obviously with everything that happened with my son, with, his issues. I think it's going to take a while for me to get there. But I would love to. Yeah. If it's in God's plan, I would love to. Yeah. I would love to have, another one for my little James to, brother or sister. But yeah,
So how did you handle going back to work?
It was hard.
Now, are you in office? Because you said you were you're a recruiter.
Yeah, I'm a recruiter. So we are remote, but it's optional to go in. Our office is in New York. So I was with my last firm for 10 years, and my boss, my friend, had cancer. She passed away last March.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. She left, obviously, she passed, and I just decided it was time for me to move on. It wasn't the right fit for me at that time. I wanted to start fresh because I I didn't want to go into an office at that point. I couldn't even think about going in, and they were requiring people to be in full time, and I just couldn't provide that for them. So my sister actually is a recruiter as well, and her company was looking to hire. So I interviewed with them. Very flexible. A lot of them are working moms, so they understand, the flexibility that I need and stuff like that. So I'm now working with them, which has been amazing.
That's great.
Really, really, really group of women, men, and I couldn't be happier. But I work remotely, but I do go in occasionally if I have to, which has been honestly really, really beneficial.
Yeah.
For right now.
Of
but
course.
It was hard to go back to work. Like, at first I didn't know how to juggle it. I remember calling my sister being like, I don't know what to do. People are calling me, the baby's crying,
You didn't have
I'm a mom.
Did somebody come to watch him while you were working at home?
No, so I sent him to daycare. So our really good friend, I don't know, you may know her, Jen Santos.
Oh, love Jen Santos.
We all go there.
My first one went there.
Small wonder.
Small wonder.
Oh my God.
Yes, and my best friend's daughter went there, and my best friend actually worked there.
Who?
Angie.
Oh my God, Macy babysat my sister's
love Macy.
kids. Okay,
Yes.
this is so.
So Macy and Michael were born a
I
year
love
apart.
Angie.
Yes.
Love Angie. Oh, so he goes there. That was huge for me.
Jen was a lifesaver.
Jen and that whole staff completely helped me tremendously in my transition back to work. If I didn't have them, I don't know what I would have done. It would have been, they're like family to us. They are beyond.
They're great.
It was
What a
huge.
small world.
Small world. Oh yeah, Jen, we know Jen for years.
Yeah.
But I would text Jen, how's he doing? She's like, he's fine. Like, I love them because I had such a great...
Yeah, Michael didn't go when he was an infant.
Yeah.
He went when he was maybe a little older than 16 months. I would have to
James
check back
went when he was 4.5 months.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was tough. I at one point I remember calling my mom and I'm like, Mom, I don't know if I can do this. And she's like, well, you can't stay home. I'm like, but I don't know if I can do this. I don't think I'm ready. I'm not ready. She's like, Jackie, you're never going to be ready. Like, she basically was saying, it's never going to be a right time, like, to go back to work.
And rip that Band-Aid off.
And rip the Band-Aid off. So, my mom.
And she's right. She's right.
I was in such a place of, I want to be home. My husband's like, that ain't happening. Like, well, you got a mortgage to pay.
Yeah. And there's a certain lifestyle and things you want to do and vacations you want to go on.
And he's like, do you want to see me? But now looking back, it's one of the best things that has happened because working has helped tremendously. It's gotten me back into, your socialization and my own identity. I'm back to doing what I do pre-baby. Yeah. But now I'm a different, brand of myself.
Because you do lose yourself.
You do.
You do. Even though, he's only 16 months old, the fact that you're aware of that and taking the time to still take care of yourself, whether it's a hobby or whatever it is that you're doing, I think it's really, really great because I did not do that. And you just thrust yourself in family. And then it's like second kid, third kid, job loss, this, that, whatever. And, Now I'm going to be 49. I'm having a mental breakdown. No, I'm just or midlife crisis or whatever you want to call it. So I'm trying to get back to that Kathy before I had Michael.
I know,
but it's a journey. And it's all wonderful.
It is. And you look back and you're like, I can't picture my life without my son. So
oh God, no.
Right? It's.
But I will tell you, did you find out? If you were having a boy or girl, I did too. I didn't, but I prayed for a boy.
I didn't. I know, and I wish I didn't because I did want to have that surprise aspect. Because everything, nowadays, nothing's a secret, especially on social media. It's like, I wish I did do a surprise though. I do regret that. But when I found out it was a boy, I was like, and everyone always says, they're like, you're such a boy mom. I'm like, I know.
And there is a difference between a boy mom and a girl mom. I feel like that could be a whole separate episode there.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. I know, because my niece is 4, and she gives us a run for our money. Yeah. My little niece, Emma. Yeah.
So. My daughter was a surprise, and when I found out I was pregnant, I said, please let this be a girl. Because I don't think I can go for a 4th, even though my husband wanted 5. And I said, not with this person. But But it's, and I love having all of them, but I'm definitely a different mother to her than I am to the boys.
No, definitely.
Oh yeah.
I could definitely. Like,
and
my sister
I
too.
feel I click better with boy moms than I do with girl moms.
Yeah.
Yeah, because all the girl moms that I know, their daughters are their first.
Okay.
My daughter's the last. She's got 2 older brothers. Like,
It's a different,
the dynamics are all different,
Yeah.
you know? And I'm like, no, that doesn't happen here.
Yeah.
You know? But it's all great.
It is.
Yeah.
No, you're definitely, I could see with my sister, with my niece and my nephew, it's definitely, you're just different, geared towards, girl or the boys.
I think boys are easier in some aspects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know, but based on my son,
I'm glad I have both.
he's a little monster.
Yeah.
In a good way.
In a good way. But so was my daughter. When she was his age, she was, because we were still in Kearney, like she was outside in the dirt looking for worms every day. And I just let her because I had the... And when I had her, oops, you're getting laid off. So I lost my job and pregnant with the 3rd child within I think it was 5 weeks. So we were shitting our pants, you know? Yeah. I'm like, all right, honey, a lot of mac and cheese for dinner coming up, you know? But, and I let her, and because I'm like, I needed an hour to make the dinner.
Yeah.
And I didn't care how dirty she was, and I just stuck her into the,
But that's how it was, I feel like, even with growing up. We were outside all the time. Like, get dirty. My mom she was a stay-at-home mom. It's like, go outside for the hour and a half, get dirty, whatever, and then come back in. We were always, my brother was with...
It's not like that now.
It's not.
No.
It's not.
So if you're lucky enough to live in a neighborhood where there's a lot of kids on the street...
there are kids on our block, which is huge for us. But even now, I try to get them outside as much as I can. Like, my husband's like, you're addicted to the sun and being outside. I'm like, no, get him out. It's actually so healthy. So we got him, one of those little Tykes cars, and we're in that all the time with him. And then I just take him to the park. I'm like, he doesn't even understand where we are, but he's outside. It makes a difference. How many, Miss Rachel episodes can you watch? Because I know I go crazy, and then I start singing the songs. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. We had Peppa Pig.
Oh, Peppa Pig. And Bluey. He's into Bluey now, that blue dog. Sesame Street. We did Coco Melon for a while. I tried to introduce Sesame Street. They weren't having it. We had Barney a little bit, but Barney you could tolerate only for a certain amount of time. And then after a while you're overstimulated. It's like, turn it off because I can't listen to her anymore. Sorry, Miss Rachel.
And then we had Paw Patrol. Paw Patrol was cute.
Yes. We used to do Coco Melon. We don't do that anymore.
No,
the songs all
they're all the same.
They are.
I know. But now that my kids are teenagers, me and my husband sometimes when Shutterfly pops up 13 years ago, I'm like, oh, it was so cute. But when you're in it, whether it's a 16-month-old or you have multiple children and you got a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and someone in diapers, it's pure chaos.
Oh.
It's chaos. It's no matter how many kids you have.
No, my house is chaos at all times. And there's stuff all over
there. Yep.
He doesn't like to wear, he's really strong. He fights me on the changing table. And also the milestones now that these kids have to hit, it's insane. I don't even follow it anymore.
Oh, good.
My pediatrician.
Because you could drive yourself crazy.
Of course, yeah. My pediatrician's like, he's good, please. And not everybody fits in the same box.
Correct.
But he doesn't want to wear clothes now, so he spends half the day in his diaper, just roaming the back room. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm not fighting you.
Yeah.
Hey, you're not naked. I'm not fighting you.
Yeah. And you're happy and you're not crying.
Exactly.
So.
And I'm like, kids, explore, buddy, explore. But he just doesn't want to wear clothes now.
That's good.
I'm like, alrighty.
Well, that's good. I think infants, toddlers, and, even older kids, I think they feed off our energy.
Oh,
so I feel like if you're on the calmer side or, go with the flow, your children will react a little bit. I don't want to say better, but they like I said, they feed off your energy.
Yeah.
I think my husband over the years, if there's one, allowed me to like, all right, just take a breath.
That's how my husband is.
It'll be all right.
He is so
and I am so thankful for that.
Oh, thank
because
God.
I'm type A, you know, it's like, all right, well, the appointment's at 2:00, gotta be there at 1:45. Come on.
He's like that, whereas I'm like, oh my God, he's coughing. Should we call the pediatrician? My husband is so, okay, let's evaluate it. I have to assess the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like
See, ironically, every time there was like a nosebleed or somebody fell, I actually was so calm. A broken arm, you know, Michael rolled off me one time because I tried to breastfeed. I was so tired, and then like he literally like rolled off and boom on the floor. I'm like, oh shit, you know. Yeah, I mean, he got into comment one time. I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing here?
But I feel like it's a good balance. You need that.
It is.
Because I go crazy. It is 24/7. Music's on, the baby's dancing, laughing. My husband's like, Alexa, off. Like, he's very much calm. He wants to, before bed.
Quiet
he's
time.
Like, I'm like the little kid.
Yeah.
He's like, Jack.
We play music in our house a lot, too. I mean,
it's so
everybody's got a speaker. They try to play music over each other.
Well,
but I do like my quiet time.
Like, I got to limit the TV time a little bit, too. Mm-hmm. It's too much. I mean.
See, when my daughter was born, she got a little bit more of the electronics in front of her because it was.
Yeah. We just got him an iPad. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to see how that goes. We didn't even set it up yet. But I'm just thinking for like.
I'm going to say if you could avoid it as much as you can.
I know.
It's hard.
It is.
It's really hard.
It is.
You know, and like I said, she got it when she was a toddler, probably the most out of the three of them. But again, she was my youngest. It was just
They know how to work. These kids know how to work technology better than I can.
Oh, I know. And my daughter's really good at it.
iPads. Yeah. I mean, I know my sister's like the Apple person in our house. Like we ask her for everything, but her daughter, you have to see how they work an iPad. Skip ads. I'm just like, I don't even know how to work an iPad.
So let's talk about, just real quick, did you gain a lot of weight with your pregnancy? Yeah. Did you watch what you eat or you didn't give a shit?
I was always like a big gym person, health addict, all that stuff. I did watch, so in the beginning of the pregnancy.
Watch what you ate? Like the burgers were you conscious about
No,
what you were
I watched. I wasn't conscious at all. At one point I was like, I'm pregnant, whatever. For the first time I can like enjoy what I eat and I can have an excuse about why I'm gaining this much weight because I'm pregnant. But meanwhile, it was, a lot. I had a hematoma in the beginning of my pregnancy. So I was bleeding. Yeah. So they thought I was miscarrying in my first trimester. Yeah. I bled twice, and then they found out weeks later it was the hematoma. So that was like the beginning of the pregnancy. So I used to run, do CrossFit, all that stuff. Because of that, it kind of like scaled me back from really working out during my pregnancy.
Did you do CrossFit at Animal CrossFit by chance?
I did it at NJ Hit in North Arlington.
Okay.
I know. And I loved it. But then that happened and it set me back completely with working out. You know, in the back of my head, I was like, I don't want anything to happen to the baby, so I'm not going to work out, which was now looking back, like I should have just been like, no, I'm doing this for me and the baby.
Yeah, because I see a lot of moms now that work out.
Like, that's actually like one of my regrets during my pregnancy is I should have kept active that I used to because I feel like the outcome would have been a little different for me. But that's okay. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, right?
Are you back to working out now?
Yeah, I don't do like a lot of what I used to do, but I'm definitely.
Do you find it helpful? As far as like with. With like your mental health,
and like appearance, like my clothes are starting to fit again, and you feel
it takes time.
Good.
You do feel good.
You feel better.
I hate to do it.
I hate doing it now, but I'm like I have to do it.
I went on a treadmill this morning.
Good for you.
Really?
We try. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Good.
All right. Yeah. It was only like 15 minutes,
but it's better than nothing. You know.
And then I'm like, oh my God, I got to go take a shower. That's why when you called me, you're here. I'm like, I'll be right there.
Well, this was funny. I always leave early because I always get lost. And then, of course, as I'm on 280, it said low tire pressure. And I'm like, great. So here's my sign from God. I'm going to get there and I'm going to get flat tires.
Yeah.
And my husband's like, well, are they really low? I'm like, I don't know. I'm here. I'll call you later.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I gained a lot of weight because of the preeclampsia. I was, because I'm usually like I don't even care. I'm usually like 150, 160. I get to be lower. I was over 200.
Me too.
But my baby shower, did you look at pictures from my baby shower?
No.
Oh my God. You have to see. I'll send it to you later.
I will never post pictures from my baby showers.
I was like, my hands, my feet. I was like, I don't feel good. But then the vision started with the spots in your eye.
See, that I didn't get.
Oh my God, it got so high. And I was like, I should have probably called my doctor when I got all these symptoms. You don't know. You think it's just being pregnant. But I gained a lot of weight. I couldn't fit in anything. And then after, it was all water weight. But I was still heavy. But I lost 20 pounds of it, though, so far. I still have more to go. But it's not easy. It's not easy. And it sucks.
You're in your 30s.
I know. I can't.
So it's a lot
I try to move
easier
every
than when you're in your
day.
40s.
I try to move every single day.
And that's great, because I'm trying to do that too, but I'm not very consistent.
It's like
I have a love-hate relationship with the scale and a love-hate relationship
I weigh myself
with working
every morning, Kathy, and that number, I'm like, can't even look at it. But thank God my son's 25
I don't know why we're so
pounds,
hung up on
like
the
this.
number. The
I
number
know.
means everything to me, and it's actually the worst thing that we can do for ourselves.
And my doctor's like, don't look at that because I just got blood work done. I'm like, yeah, but it's hard not to. It is, because you want to get back to that pre-pregnancy.
You do.
In a lot of ways, you do.
You do. But if you don't, that's okay too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now I'm like rocking it. I'm like mom jeans all the way.
Mom
I'm like
jeans, high-waisted
jeans. These are high-waisted. I'm like, no shame.
Yeah.
I love, I'm proud of it,
Yeah.
Because after the C-section, I was like, I have to walk because it hurt so much. And the doctor's like, you just got to keep walking. Just keep walking, get the blood flowing, because if you sit too long and lay down, it's going to make it worse. So even when I was home, like the minute I got home, the next day, it was like below 10 degrees out. I bundled up and just
good for
walked.
you. That's great.
Because I was like, I just wanted to do what they were telling me to do.
I'm like
I just
a bear.
wanted to feel better.
I don't really do too much in the winter. I think one day I'll actually just accept myself for clothes.
It's hard.
And then the summer comes, or it's like
Oh my
6
God,
weeks
I don't even
from
want
the
to
summer.
think about the summer.
And
I don't even want to think about the summer. I'm like, I can't even think about it.
It's all right. But again, we're very judgmental of ourselves. Even like right now, as we're talking, we shouldn't be. I mean, I've had 3 kids.
I know. And you look wonderful.
Well, because I'm clothed. And my hair's done, It's not the average here.
Oh my God. We are so hard on ourselves.
We are. And I think
I
we
just
have to
walk around in yoga pants and
slowly
like
change
sports
that.
bras at my house.
Yeah, we do.
We do. As a society, I feel like. But it does take your body, they were saying, a year plus to get back.
But I got back after my first one, because I remember I got right back into that bikini, and I was like,
that's awesome.
Never again. Well, I did put one on again, and then I saw the pictures. I was like, what are you doing? Yeah. So I think I have to, it's time to retire the bikinis.
I don't even think I own bikini. I don't think I ever really wore a bikini because I was always
I'm still holding on to a couple of pieces in my closet from my younger days.
I think I just have one piece.
Because you know what happens to you when
Remember
you get
the tankinis, right? Is that what it's called?
Yes. Those are great.
Those are still in, I think, right?
Yeah.
With like the skirts.
Oh, no. Don't ever do that. I'm telling you right now, don't ever do that.
I don't think I ever even owned it, but I remember wearing tankinis.
Yeah, but they don't have. Don't do the skirt.
No, I do one pieces now. I just do the one piece. I'll rock that because
Yeah.
they're in though, and there's some cute ones.
Yeah.
The ruffled, like last summer I wore ones that were like ruffled around my tummy because I still had my little baby gut.
Yeah.
But I felt good in it though. I was like, you know what?
And that's
after
all that
a while,
really
you're just
matters.
like, I don't even care.
And then no one's really looking at you either.
No, and you think they are.
I know, but they're not.
Right, I know.
I want to thank you for coming on today.
Oh,
I
thank
feel like
you.
we could continue talking about all this stuff.
was
So maybe
great.
one day you'll come back.
Yeah.
And then we could have another conversation.
Please, that would be awesome. This was great. I felt like I forgot we were recording for a little bit.
I know, because
I love it.
Yeah. So thank you, Jackie.
Thank you.
And
Thanks for having me.
I can't wait to hear that you're pregnant again.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
maybe it'll happen sooner than later.
Maybe I'll be
like you
back here
said.
with a bump.
Yeah. That'd be great.
I know.
Because that's a whole nother conversation as far as like multiple kids and your second
definitely.
pregnancy and all that stuff.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank
Yeah.
you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.